This thinness, it's hard to comprehend on camera. Like, this is not the Ultra, by the way, this is the Edge. Bruh, looks like a thick ass boy. Although the Z Fold was the first mainstream foldable to the market, they sat on that dominance for a little too long. 6 generations too long. The Z Fold series lately have been getting bashed left, right and center from the tech community for not innovating, for keeping the same old familiar similar hardware with very little incremental upgrades over the previous models. I personally love the Z Fold 6 because it was my first Fold I've ever used, and coming from the iPhone, it was an extreme upgrade for me. I had so many comments saying, "How much does Samsung pay you?" for being one of the rare positive reviews at the time. I think someone at Samsung's foldable team just got sacked in the last 12 months. How do you go from being the thickest foldable in town
And then Fold 7, it's so thin you can't even see it. Look at that.
to one of the thinnest? They apparently did this by using some new materials such as titanium. They were able to make the hinge thinner whilst not compromising on durability. They've also finally made the cover display, which I didn't want them to widen, but they finally listened to the majority of people and widened the cover display,
So this is Joey, this is Mia.
which is now at a very reasonable 6.5 inches. So the screen size for the Fold 7 has a solid 11% increase in size over the Z Fold 6. Look, as someone that loves One UI, I've always wished that the Oppo Find N5, for example, would run One UI. You know, everything about that hardware was brilliant, except the software. And so now we finally got that same hardware, minus the battery, as the Oppo Find N5. In fact, it looks way better, and in my opinion, the cameras are actually better. So when I saw the rumors about the Z Fold 7 and Samsung invited my wife and I to the secret events early, I couldn't help myself and ran straight to the Fold 7 before the event even started.
I'm gonna go straight to it. Before we say hi.
Steve Jobs is at this India event. After we went through the demonstration of the new devices, I went straight to the real question. I brought the S Pen. I'll bring it. Give me a sec. I've been keeping this S Pen in my bag for the last year for this phone. It doesn't work. Damn. We lost the S Pen. Oh, this is a very big disappointment. Even though the S Pen was a niche feature used by even fewer Z Fold users, I was one of them. And now I need to use my fat fingers to edit photos or use a tablet to sign stuff. But the form factor is so much improved compared to the Z Fold 6. I'm willing to lose the pen, but hope they bring it back next year. Wife was obviously more curious about the camera on the Z Fold.
Oh, it's so thin.
Bro, why'd they get rid of the pen, frick?
Oh my goodness,
Your phone's a brick?
it's a brick. And it's kind of double sized. If they fix the colors and everything in the camera, maybe I can try to.
The cameras are improved. Everything else is improved. It's just they don't have pen. The main camera on the Z Fold 6 has finally got its first upgrade since 1995. It now sports a 200 megapixel camera. I believe it's either the same one from the Edge or it's the same one from the Galaxy Fold Special Edition.
I'm an idiot for not taking a video of it, but the camera rings have been visually improved. They got rid of that stupid black thing and it's now like a silver thing, similar to the S24 Ultra, which was a nice, not really an upgrade, but a nice change.
Now, the crease has dramatically improved. It's still there, okay? And it's easier to see on camera because it's not the same as your eyeballs. It refracts light slightly differently, so you can it's a bit more obvious. But I'm telling you, when I swiped my fingers through the screen, I couldn't feel it. What I need for content is I need to take this home. That's what I need. Okay? So you said whatever.
I can't help you with that.
You said whatever. They did this by increasing the glass thickness by 50%. Unfortunately, it does not get that awesome anti-reflective coating you get on the S25 Ultra. And the battery stayed the same size, but I'm counting this as an upgrade over the Z Fold 6. Now, when you go from the 12 millimeters down to 8 point something millimeters, the battery has to take a hit, okay? But the fact that they're not using silicon carbon, yet they still maintain the same 4,400 milliamp hours, that's actually impressive. Not only that, they went down from the Z Fold 6 239 grams down to 215 grams. I think this upgrade feels substantial because it's Samsung Z Fold line. Like, we've had the same thing. Z Fold 1, oh, we get the pen. Oh, it's waterproof. Oh. It was like the same thing. And I think that's why going from the Z Fold 6 to this was like...
My goodness. So I finished rendering the video and I've uploaded it, and I totally forgot to tell you guys about the price. In Australia, the price is now 2,899 bucks. So the Fold 6 was 2,749. This is going up and up and up. I think they're getting ready for the Apple's Fold, because that's going to be about 8,900 bucks, you know what I mean? The price is high, but Samsung have one of the best trading systems ever. So please take advantage of that.
Now, in terms of the battery tech, let me talk about the battery tech for a second. I'm not trying to make an excuse for Samsung, but I get why Samsung and Apple aren't jumping onto this new technology right away. Because these two brands sell bazillions of devices. And you know Samsung's history with the Note 7. They're probably the last people on this earth to jump to a new battery tech. Did you know the 3,900 milliamp hours in this S25 Edge is quite impressive? They had to shrink the battery size whilst increasing the capacity. If Samsung used the silicon carbon technology for the exact same battery size, did you know that the upgrade would only be 4,100 milliamp hours? Jumping up from 3,900. Why would they make all that risk just for 200 milliamp hours? Like, people online are saying they could have had like a 5,000 milliamp hour or 4,500. No. Now, in saying that, the freaking Oppo, okay, is actually thinner by like 0.3 millimeters or something like that than the Z Fold 7. They managed to get a 5,600 milliamp hours using silicon carbon. That is freaking crazy. So, yeah, that's a big deal. That's like more than 1,000 milliamp hours in a phone that's pretty much the same form factor. Yeah, would I love for them to move to silicon carbon? Absolutely. In fact, I think they should do their first silicon carbon batteries in their foldables, mainly because they don't sell as much volume as they do the S25 Ultras, for example. I have never had an issue with the Z Fold 6 getting through the day. The Snapdragon 8 Elite chip for Galaxy in the Z Fold 7 is going to actually last longer than the thick 12.1-inch Z Fold 6.
All right, so as someone that dailies a Edge, I can't get over this because of its thinness. By the way, I've got 6,000 million billion phones, but I keep my main SIM card in here because I just love using this thing, even though the battery isn't as great as my other phones. The fact that I've got so much more screen and like this thinness, it's hard to comprehend on camera. Like, this is not the Ultra, by the way, this is the Edge. Whoa! What's the difference? This is lighter. This is actually lighter. And this is the Ultra. What is the difference, man?
Here's my wish list for the Z Fold 8. The Z Fold 7 isn't even in my hands yet, and I'm talking about the Z Fold 8. But this is it, okay? Just these two things, and bro, take my money for the rest of your life, okay? First upgrade, S Pen support. Bring it back. I don't care how you do it, bring it back, okay? Second thing, give it a 5,500 milliamp hour silicon carbon battery within the same form factor. You do those two things, bro, I'll be sold for life. Please make that happen. But until then, I'm gonna enjoy the shit out of this Z Fold 7 when it comes. It's meant to come today. I'm just waiting for the buzzer. Oh, and guess what? I even saw Steve Jobs at this event. Look at Steve. Steve Jobs has never been so impressed.